Okay, we're back with turn 7. Things are looking okay. The only problem we're having right now is that CJ has all the items we need and he's the furthest away. Everybody is somewhat close besides CJ. Actually, CJ doesn't have that too far to go. He only needs 5. Actually, Kevin's the one that might not make it, but he can move 3 again. So we'll have to see if we can make it to the Ranger Tower with the items before Otis gets there. It's going to be a race. So let's go ahead and start this turn with Sherry. Sherry's already where she needs to be. I'm going to leave her right where she's at and go ahead and draw her cabin card. And, of course, Otis strikes. Okay, so Otis moves to Sherry to strike. Sherry is in trouble because she has no weapons. I looked over the cards. Nobody has anything that can help her. She's down to her last health. She's going to lose this fight. Things are not good for Sherry. Sherry has no weapon to defend herself. Otis is going to do 1 damage, and that means Sherry has sadly died. When a counselor is killed, their character is placed on their side, their survival cards are discarded, and their items are placed on their character card. So if somebody were to encounter her body, they would be able to retrieve any items that the character died with. And since she died, our body count is going to go up 1. This will cause Otis's attack to go up 1. Otis now will use an 8-sided dice when attacking. I think the only way that we're going to be able to win this and escape via the Ranger Tower is if we go on the offensive. So it's Karen's turn. I'm going to have her actually, she can move 3. I'm going to have her, now do I want her to go after Otis? Because we need to clear him out of here. Or should I wait for Kevin? If I move her up here, that means there's a chance Otis will come that direction. Alright. Let's not go on a suicide run. We'll have her move up to the commons, draw a cabin card, and it is a rumor. The Claw. It belonged to Jeremy, the groundskeeper. How long do you suppose it would take to kill a person with something like this? Increase Otis's damage stat by 1. And a token, object token appears in the tool shed. So Otis's damage will now go up to 2. So every time he hits, it's going to do 2 damage to our counselors. And an object token will appear in the tool shed. And now we'll move on to Kevin. Kevin can move 3 now that he's fully healed. We're going to move him to the campfire. Draw a cabin card. Oh, buddy. Look at that. Kevin found himself a chainsaw. If you roll a 1 with the chainsaw, your attack fails and the chainsaw is discarded. So it can run out of gas, but it attacks on a 10. Something we needed to find right near the end. Excellent, excellent card. We'll put that with Kevin. Then I'll come back and we'll move with CJ. Now with Kevin with that chainsaw, I chose to unequip his crowbar and equip the chainsaw in its place since we're this close to Otis. And now we're going to go ahead and move CJ, who can only move 2 right now. So we'll move him 1, 2, a little closer to the finale. Wait, maybe I should move him with Kevin and give Kevin the items just in case CJ can't make it. I think we'll do that. So we'll move Kevin just the 1, and that way at the end of the turn we can swap out items, and then Kevin, who can move more because he needs to go to the further space anyway, and CJ would only have to make it into the cabin. So we'll go with that plan. So CJ ends his movement phase, draws a plot twist. Lost in the woods. Move to the woods. Follow the lost directions for your next turn. Well, that couldn't happen at a worse time. Just when we were about to hand the items off, we get a Lost in the Woods card. Let me see if I have anything that can help out with that. I don't have anything that can stop CJ from being lost in the woods. So I'm going to use Kevin's single-use gimme card. And I can play it at any time to take an item, weapon, objective, camper, or keys from another counselor. So I'm going to choose to take the crank from CJ because these items are harder to come by than keys. So Kevin takes the crank from CJ, and CJ is lost in the woods. I have to make a correction. This card that Kevin played is a survival card, which he cannot play right now because the heavy fog is still in effect. We haven't tried to see if it's ended yet. So CJ's still lost in the woods, and we're going to see if now it's at the end of CJ's turn. We'll see if the heavy fog is lifted. So we're going to roll a 4-sided dice, and we need a 3 or 4 to get rid of the heavy fog. We got a 4, so the heavy fog has lifted. And now, since the heavy fog is lifted and the card text states play at any time, I'm going to play that, take the crank from CJ, give it to Kevin, and now we'll begin Otis's stock phase. Otis currently has a stock of 2, and he is 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces from Karen, 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces from Kevin. CJ is lost in the woods, so 4 spaces from each of them. Now, since Otis is the same distance from each of the counselors, you have to go into the tiebreakers. The first tiebreaker is he's going to target the cabin with the fewest campers, cameos, or counselors. So since Karen has her brother Toby with her, there's 2 here, 1 here. He's definitely going for Kevin. That means that means Otis is going to move and stalk 2 spaces towards Kevin and end this turn. Okay, we're here now at the beginning of turn number 8, and we've lost Sherry, whose dead body is right where we need to be. So the first person to go will be Karen. And Karen can currently move 3 because she's injured. So I'm going to have her move to Morris's office. That'll put her 1 step away. Draw a cabin card. And she has drawn the bear trap. During her move phase, place the bear trap token in your space. If Otis crosses paths with it, lower his stock by 1. Remove him from the board and discard the bear trap. So we'll go ahead and give this item to Karen. Her move phase is already over, so she can't use it this turn. And we'll see if there's a way we can use it to our advantage in the next turn. Now we'll move on to Kevin. Now Kevin does have a chainsaw and all of his health. So I'm going to go ahead and have him go right at Otis. Now he has crossed paths with Otis, which means they must fight. So Kevin is going to go first, and with this chainsaw he can roll a 10-sided, and we need a good roll here. A 2. Kevin has consistently rolled terrible through the entire game, but yet he's still alive. Alright, Kevin. Let's see. Otis gets to roll an 8-sided. Of course, he rolls a 6. Much better than Kevin's 2, which means Kevin is going to get wounded and panic. Otis does 2 damage to Kevin, since Otis' damage stat is now 2. Putting Kevin back to being able to only move 1 space per turn. And now Kevin will panic and move 2. Kevin will move his 2, and I'll move him right onto the space with Sherry's dead body. And finally this turn we have CJ, who is lost in the woods. He's going to roll a 6-sided dice. With the result of a 1 or a 2, Otis strikes. A 3 or a 4, he's going to take 1 injury. On a 5 or a 6, nothing happens. And no matter what happens, he's going to return to a random nature trail. Let's see what happens. CJ rolls his 6-sided. Gets a 6. Nothing happens. And then we have to roll a 10-sided to see which nature trail he's going to end up on. Nature Trail 2. Nature Trail 2 is over here by the swimming area. Again, really far away, and he can only move 2 per turn. That's the end of the player's or counselor's turn. Otis, with a stock of 2, is within range of Kevin, which he beat up once already, even though Kevin had a chainsaw. So what does he have to be afraid of? Well, let's see if Kevin can actually roll something good for the first time in the game. He's going to attack Otis with his chainsaw and roll a 5. Not great, but that's pretty darn good for Kevin. Otis, who currently attacks with an 8-sided, rolls a 2. Kevin has finally succeeded at something. Thanks to Kevin finally succeeding, Otis will be moved off the board and will be lurking.